So why am I all Steve Jobs here today? Because I'm still in freaking cold Vancouver and I didn't make the cut for the Nikon trip to Spain for the Nikon Z6 Mark III. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thomas Love here from beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. And today we are still discussing this Nikon Z6 Mark III because according to Nikon Rumors, plenty of YouTubers, influencers and many other important guys with an important following, they have been invited to Lanzarote, which is an island in Spain, so they could enjoy and try the new Nikon Z6 Mark III, which is rumored to be another hybrid camera. While us, normal people, we're just here speculating about the rumors and the chatter, as they call it, about the specs, because we're really eager to know what is coming up. Will this lineup be good enough compared to other hybrid cameras, such as the Nikon C70, the Panasonic S5 Mark II X, and we're really curious to see what direction Nikon is taking, especially because after the most recent announcement that Nikon is not gonna be just a camera and glasses company anymore, but they're using imaging for entertainment or for improve our life. And so you will see Nikon products in the outer space, on satellites, as well as in the farms, like the smart camera that can predict when the cow is about to give birth. And so Nikon, yes, the new world of imaging. The new world of imaging with this Nikon Z6 Mark III, which is a hybrid shooting camera, it's more positioned towards the video. And so we will all speculate about the specs. I just found here in the digital camera world the latest rumors or chatter, as they define them, and they say that it might have many things in common with the current Nikon ZF, which has been a success so far. And then we're looking at 96 megapixel with pixel shift shooting. So if you need to shoot interior or landscape, that might be your option. And then focus point VR, pre-release capture. I don't know why, maybe for videography. I don't know, maybe wildlife photography, because videography you don't need pre-release. But if you want to use it as it's supposed to be used for video, because it's a hybrid shooting camera, then a new subject recognition for the autofocus, and the rumors, they talk about 6K ProRes RAW. Now, the question is, first, how good this camera will be, and knowing it's a Nikon product, it would be definitely a good product. You can rely on it and use it for the years to come. Second question is, how much will be the price? Because the entry point, of course, it's very important when you consider moving to a different system or improving on your system that you already have a few glasses. Maybe you have the Z5, the Z50, whatever, and you want to upgrade to an Nikon Z6 Mark III because you have new needs and new projects to come. And then once you know these things, these are not very important to me. Now, knowing that you have focus point VR, in-body image stabilization, that's a given. In 2024, plenty of cameras now are up to that level. And so any camera, any brand, nowadays, it's a good camera, it's a good workhorse, and you can use it. You just need to pick up the lens according to the project you are running. So every single camera, which is Nikon, Canon, Fuji, Leica, Panasonic, Pentax, whatever you pick up, and it's a brand new camera from 2024, it will do the job. So the real difference here is the convenience, how much the price point would be compared to the specs that you're getting for that money. Because if you need to purchase a Sony camera, which is almost the double versus a Panasonic, and then in addition to that you have to rig it all up, then it's easier to add the price for the external monitor, for the external SSD, and then for the gimbal and all the many things that you might need for hybrid shooting. Right? I found out that the Panasonic is a very good solution because you might not need the external monitor because the flippy screen is good enough to see the framing. And then you will not need an external SSD because you can record ProRes internally on your SD cards. So you don't even need to invest on CF Express. And so the question mark for this Nikon Z6 Mark III is not about how good that will be, because that would be a great camera, I'm sure about it. And what about the price? Will the price be comparable to that? And so once you're having AF tracking with face detect at IBIS and these beautiful Z-mount glasses, now we're playing the game about the specs. What output can you get out of that camera? Will the in-body image stabilization work and be paired well enough with the optical image stabilization that you have inside the Nikon Z-mount glasses? So that's the very first question that I will ask, because Sony, they're not doing a great job on that. You will need a gimbal. Panasonic, you might go handheld and have additional footage. So if it's not your very first system, it might be the second, of course, for side, for B-roll shooting, so on and so forth. And what about this Nikon Z6 Mark III? Will it be the very first camera for your needs, or will it be the second camera for your needs? Now, another thing that we're discussing right now with Panasonic and with Blackmagic, they were the first two cameras introducing the shutter angle instead of the shutter speed. So if you don't know what's the difference, you can Google it in 2 minutes, you will get it. It's so immediate. Basically, it makes your life better, because the shutter angle is something that comes from video cameras, and then it has been now implemented into mirrorless cameras. While you can get along with shutter speed if you're recording videos in 4K, whatever compression you're using, whatever log, whatever LUT you're using, but if you change frame rates from now and then, now if it's a head talk like this, you set your camera and you don't touch it. So no sweat about it. But if you go for run and gun around, or if you are shooting video of video clips, music, or interviews, and you need to change and adjust the frame rate very often, then shutter angle, it's definitely something to look forward to. And just to make a comparison, Sony didn't put it in its FX3. Panasonic put it in the S5 Mark II, which is half the price. And so will Nikon implement it or not? So shutter angle, and then will it have the 3x2 full frame, open gate? Because nowadays it's so important, because many videos are shot vertical for, don't let me say TikTok, but even for the shorts on YouTube, you need a vertical resolution. And so if you want to reframe vertical, so either you shoot in vertical, but that's doubling your efforts, or you can shoot 6K open gate 3x2, and then you are reframing for what you need. You can reframe for 16:9, you can reframe for C4K 17:9, or you can reframe in vertical, all with the same video that you shot once in 6K open gate 3x2. So these are the things that end of day you need to consider when you're purchasing a new camera dedicated to video. Will my workflow be enhanced or not? We're not just talking about the resolution. You can have a camera that shoots 4K, like my Leica Q2. Right now I'm shooting in 4K, and I'm using the all-eye, all-intra, which is a compression that preserves and compress every single frame. Or if you want to have lighter files, you can go with the long GUP. So basically the difference is a point MOV video versus a point MP4, which is far more compressed, but you cannot then manage the luminance and adjust the colors in post. And so with these new cameras, you can eventually shoot ProRes open gate. That would be the best. Of course, you're having very heavy files, but all your needs are covered. But if you are shooting headshots like I'm doing right now, even your crappy because it's crappy on videos, Q2 will do the job. 24p, 4K, and all intra. So I hope I didn't mess up and generate more confusion than I had to. But when you start talking about specifics and specific details and resolutions, and there are plenty of things that have to be tackled, and then the discussion might or might not be so clear, but we don't know whether the Nikon Z6 Mark III will have all these open gate, 6K, face detect, IBIS, log, LUTs implemented inside the camera like the Panasonic, and recording on SD or CF Express or external SSD if you want to shoot RAW in the camera. Will it be supported or not? These are the questions that I will love to ask the guys that are right now in Spain while I'm still here in the cold. So with that, I hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, please remember to like it, share it to your social media, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any videos to come. And I guess I will see you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.